again. The star of today's show is a rangefinder camera. I own a few rangefinder cameras. They can be very handy, especially when you want to focus with wide open aperture. A good rangefinder, it can be very helpful. I stumbled upon this Ricoh because I own a few Ricoh 500s, as you know, rangefinder cameras, and I was surprised by the quality of the pictures. The lens is great, and the finish was quite okay, and it was built very well. And you know, when you look at advertisements on cameras, then Google remembers what you like and what you don't like. So I stumbled upon this one and I started reading about it, and what I found out was that this is the Ricoh 300. It is a pretty basic rangefinder camera, but what I also read was that the building quality was very good and the lens was really very nice, very sharp, nice in contrast. So I bought this one for, let's hear, you don't gonna believe this, but it was only 30 euros. Before making this video, I checked Google what they do now. I bought this one, I think, 8 months ago, but you know, prices go up and down with Google, and some cameras are hyped, some are not. So you know, the price can differ in half a year, but still these ones are within the range of 30 to 40 euros for a good one. As you can see, I've changed the leatherette here because well, it didn't need to be changed, but it appeared to be a little bit dull in presentation, the camera. So you know, I was bored and I thought, well, let's change the look and the appearance of this camera and make it look a little bit more luxurious, and because it deserves a good presentation. So that's why I changed the leather. Now let's talk a little bit about the camera. The camera has a 4.5 centimeters 45 millimeters lens with a minimum aperture, maximum aperture of 2.8. The aperture ring is here on top of the close to the body of the camera, and it goes from 2.8 to 22. In front, it's an all manual camera, so the aperture and the shutter speed you have to choose yourself. On front of the camera you have the shutter speed dial, and it goes from bulb tenths of a second to 300ths of a second. Now 300ths of a second is not very fast, but you know, like I said before in other videos I made, I only use 100 ASA or 50 ASA films, so I usually take my pictures at 1/250 of a second. So yeah, 1/300th of a second is, for me, it is enough. It is a full manual camera, and you can hear it, you can feel it. It's sturdy, it's all metal, and the advance lever is here. Very thorough, sturdy. Shutter is very quiet, so it's ideal for street photography. You do not hear the shutter at all. Well, here is the viewfinder window, and here is the rangefinder window. When you look through the viewfinder here, it's a pretty big viewfinder for that age. Usually they were a little bit smaller, and it consists of two images that should be exactly on top of each other, and then you are in focus. I've measured it with this one, and this one is still in focus. The focus, the distance, you set with this knob here, and this is quite handy, comes in handy when you look through the viewfinder. You can operate this, and it's very well economically made. It's very comfortable to use it. This one is the scale in feet. I think were also made in meters. Talking about the rangefinder, sometimes you see that the rangefinder, the split in the second image is a little bit out of alignment, so it needs to be aligned horizontally or vertically. You can do this with this camera without taking off the top cover. This little screw here, you align the vertical alignment of the rangefinder. And with this little knob on the back here, you can set the horizontal alignment of the rangefinder. On top we see a few more things. This is the frame counter. Well, it does what it has to do. It counts down when every time taking a picture, and you can set it manually here to, if you load a new film or at a 24 exposure film or 12, you can set it over there and works perfectly. Here you have a little dial you can set to remember what kind of film you have put into the camera. On top, and this is for that age, because this camera is well, far over 50 years old, 50 to 60 years old. It has a hot shoe. And in front you also have a PC socket, a socket for a flash, and this actually still all works. On top here you have some other markings, and they give you information about how to use the flash and what aperture and what settings you need on the flash. Well, I never use a flash, to be honest. Well, hardly any. So basically, this is a fully manual rangefinder camera. It is pretty compact. Look in my hands. It's very portable. The thing is, you need a light meter with this camera, and well, I will get back to the light meter a little bit later. First, to rewind, well, yeah, it's obvious. You rewind the film here while pressing the little knob on the back. What else we have here? Here is a screw mount for a tripod. So I think we have covered all the functions of this camera, and like I said before, it's fully manual, so you need a separate light meter. Or you can use this little gadget. I have presented this little gadget a little bit earlier in another video, and you can see here why this little gadget is so versatile and easy. I think it even looks great on this camera, and this is the electronic light meter. Switch it on. Here you see, I now have it set on aperture priority, so if I change the aperture, then the shutter speed will change as well. Every time you change the aperture, this aperture down, this is up, and you press this, it takes a new reading in the camera, in the light meter. So then you can see changing the values. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it's not. But I think this comes in very, very handy, because now you have, look at it. It's a pretty compact camera, and it has a very modern light meter on it. You can also set this light meter, and it can be handy with this camera, to shutter speed priority. So you can set the shutter on 1/300, and then you have to choose the aperture. So you can set this to aperture priority and shutter priority. Very nice. I bought this little gadget for 40 euros at AliExpress, and combined you're looking at, what I paid for this, 65, 70 euros in total. And for that price you have an excellent rangefinder camera with a excellent lens. This is really a very good, a very sharp lens. They use this lens for a decade or more on their cameras. And so for that price you have a combination that is, it's superb. It's very thoroughly built, it's very practical. You can take it anywhere with you. You put a strap for the wrist here. So yes, I think this is worth the money to consider if you are looking for a rangefinder camera. And don't let you be brought back or hold back by the lack of a light meter, because like I said, this little gadget's 40 euros, and you can, you just take this one off again if you go out with a different camera which doesn't have a light meter, and you put it on. It's really very, very handy, and especially if you like these old cameras, this makes the usage more versatile and it makes your pictures very much nicer, and it's more practical. You don't need a separate light meter. And so I think that this camera alone, but also the combination of this, it's something to consider if you're looking for a rangefinder camera, a good vintage rangefinder camera, which also looks actually pretty nice. Well, I hope you liked this little review of the Ricoh 300. If you have any questions or any remarks, just place them below and I will answer them. Thank you.